Guys, and welcome here to MDL. I think this is going to be one of the first games played at all for MDL, which is kind of cool because we got Kinguin, we've got Swiss Quality Gaming, SQG. The name just rolls right off the tongue, so I don't know what I'm going to do about that. But still, we got a best of three, and it should be pretty good. That is, of course, if I'm actually broadcasting to anyone. I don't actually know if I am because Twitch is having some issues, but we're going to be here for all you folks in Dota TV. It's Mikelorus, Scott Rhyme on the line as well, although he can't actually hear me because I muted myself like an idiot, but that's okay, he didn't miss anything important. Dude, you there? How you doing?
Oh, I'm here. Am I loud and clear? I hope so.
Unfortunately, yes. You missed the whole part where our Twitch is like completely messed up.
Oh yeah, no,
I
I
think you
see
know
that.
that.
I found myself a little workaround which involves multi-Twitch, but that's the only way I've found so far to watch anything. But yeah, not great, not great.
God, now I have to pull up multi-Twitch and actually see if this is working. Why you gotta do this to me? But we got Swiss Quality Gaming, we got Team Kinguin. Kinguin, I would say, the household name, probably, at this point, whereas SQG, not as much so. Have you any experience with playing with or against any of these guys, like run into them at all?
Yeah, I've played with and against every single player in this game multiple times. So,
So,
okay, which
they're
Twitch team you want
quality,
to know
right? I
about?
mean,
I assume you know
SQG.
Kinguin. SQG is significantly the underdog here.
Mhm.
They've got a few people around rank 200. Most of them hovering between like actually I think like Davy is like around 100 or so. I can't remember exactly, but they're all between around like 100 to about 500. I guess so. Yeah, rank wise, it's kind of evenish, but from what I know about the players, I'd say this is an underdog situation.
Well, everyone loves an underdog story. I think everyone does. I think most people do. It'll come down to what they can actually pull off in this draft. It's gonna be tough. I mean, the Kinguin start is definitely rock solid. The Gyrocopter Disruptor get those circles of doom going on, and you're looking at already some pretty hefty team fight from Team Kinguin, and SQG getting a little bit of a different opening strat here. Getting their two supports, getting the Tusk and the Witch Doctor. Love these two together. And this says to me that if SQG, if they are in fact the underdogs, as you said, and I think most people would agree with, that they're going to look to kind of overcome that with just early game aggression.
Hmm. Yeah, I'd say so. Like Tusk is primarily the kind of like he roams around mid, he ganks mid, he throws shards at mid, and he also counter ganks pretty well, and he's good with smokes early on. Witch Doctor is just kind of a you sit there and you throw casks at people really, and you're pretty strong in lane. You can zone people with Maledict, and that's about it. And overall, the two are just kind of like a safe combo. Oh, that's a Death Prophet. It's a bit early for a Death Prophet, I think, but what do I know?
I've been thinking that a lot also recently, but every single time I see Death Prophet, like, I've been more and more impressed. I don't know, like, how that is. Like, it's just the same hero still, but every single time it feels like I see Death Prophet, she just becomes more and more unkillable. Again, maybe I'm just watching the wrong games, but
I think maybe
when
she's
you have a
getting picked
little
by
bit of
better and
safety
better
from your Witch
teams.
Doctor and Tusk, you can survive for a hell of a long time, especially since Kinguin don't really have all that much single target focus.
I think they have enough. It really depends. They can always pick more, and they also have the opportunity to counter the DP in lane, which is like there's quite a few heroes that do pretty well. Shadow Fiend is the first one that comes to mind as being very good versus Death Prophet, but then you don't really want to pick SF into a Tusk, so there's that little situation. But I think the problem with Death Prophet is kind of getting her out of the lane because she does have some bad matchups, but not that many. Like as the game goes on, but I think the lane is the scary place because like there are some matchups like OD versus Death Prophet where DP is like very good against OD in the game and like has an insane win rate, but in the lane, like it can go wrong if you start getting like zoned out by enemy supports and stuff, and then OD ends up like a level 2 ahead of you, you just can't go to lane. And it doesn't matter that your hero is really good against him because he's got like a blink and hurricane park at 17 minutes and you're just sitting there with Yules and it's not very fun. So hopefully something like that doesn't happen, but it might.
I mean, as you said, Death Prophet has very few bad matchups, but Death Prophet Tusk, like, I mean, that kind of just, it seems like it just smooths over everything for the Death Prophet, right? And of course, there's going to be a Night Stalker poking in and out of that mid lane for Kinguin, Disruptor maybe as well, but Death Prophet Tusk seems like one of those lanes where it's just like, you might be able to pick up one of these mobile heroes, these heroes to escape the Tusk shards and therefore also escape the Death Prophet, but it seems like that's pretty much it for the mid lane. Like, as you said, Shadow Fiend is seemingly off the table at this point. I mean, if they do decide to go for that, it's going to be real risky.
Furion, so this is one way to make sure that you can kind of battle an early game. He's really annoying in lane, and he's just everywhere. Yeah, Tusk DP is like, the kill situation that comes to my mind is there's a hero with not an escape, and then you get sharded off on the high ground, and then you're stuck in the river, and then Death Prophet just starts kind of pressing the abilities, and you kind of fall over. It does happen that way quite a lot, but maybe they go for... It's Kinguin, so you don't really know what they're going to pick mid, because they really go for anything. Whatever really slots into their lineup. So maybe Queen of Pain, Puck, Shadow Fiend still if they can protect him. Yeah. Oh, it might even be a Dragon Knight, actually.
Yeah, I mean, they already have a little bit of early power with that Nature's Prophet, and DK, even though he's not great at like bullying the Death Prophet, if you do rotate in a Night Stalker, DK, and teleport in a Nature's Prophet, then you could just overwhelm the mid lane from time to time. And if that happens after level 6, then you can take towers on top of that as well. It's kind of the rarely seen just overpowered Death Prophet type of strat. But SQG, they already have a not terrible answer to this Nature's Prophet. 2 of them, in fact, in the Tusk and the Legion Commander that they picked up. Legion Commander just because. So it seems like this Nature's Prophet pick for Kinguin isn't going to be one where it's going to have that locked down late game where you're just a god split pushing everywhere. Definitely going to have some answers on the other end, but this is definitely one of Kinguin's heroes. They played a little bit less because Nature's Prophet just isn't as much of a hero, but way back when he actually was a real hero, dude, all the time.
No, he's been getting stronger and stronger recently. The ulti is now like a 60-second cooldown, and he hits level 6 and he just starts pressing it again and again and again. It's actually really annoying. I speak from annoyance, I think, definitely. But I think Furion's been getting better. And the issue I see here is, like, LC's all well and good, but he's got to get to phase Blink and all that kind of stuff. And Furion's got to get to phase Boots and Orb of Venom, and then he starts killing people. So there's that little, like, time lag. Well, not really little. There's the time lag between their kind of effectiveness. Effectivity. I wonder what the word is. Can't remember. But the last ban coming out for Team Kinguin. Brood. I suppose, but they got Gyro, but yeah, they don't really have a way to deal with Brood, because if Brood comes out, then they have to kind of hope to get some some hero that can... No, actually, they don't even have last pick here. So they'll basically end up with 2 lanes that they can't deal with, and the Brood will run all over their lineup. So that's a nice ban. Last pick for them? I still think it's going to be DK, but I'm not sure.
It seems like nowadays DK is the mid you pick if you're going to take like a very kind of low risk scenario, and I do think DK works pretty well. I mean, even though lane matchup aside may have some difficulties, that's not a DK, that's an OD. It is still a type of hero that massive armor is really good up against what SQG have going for them right now. OD doesn't necessarily have that. He might get it eventually, but OD is going to give them that scalability into that late game. Plus, that Imprison is obviously always godlike up against LC.
Yeah, they have the Imprison versus LC. OD's pretty good against LC for that reason. But again, he does have a very bad matchup versus Death Prophet as the game goes later. He's got a pretty good lane matchup, so he'll probably be getting quite a bit of help from NS and Disruptor. But it's just a question of, can they make sure that this OD gets a good lane? If he doesn't, then I can see them kind of falling behind, but it really depends. Like, if OD's lane goes well, if LC gets a fast blink, all these kind of things. So we'll kind of see how it goes. Last pick for SQG. Trying to remember who plays what. But, oh, it's a Podom last pick. Okay, that's RVP's hero, I think. He only plays that.
Interesting. Mirana, definitely another one of those heroes that's, not really that much of a hero anymore. Has definitely taken a little bit of a fall from grace. Do you think it is, viable in your special circumstances? There is enough control so that the Mirana isn't going to have just like a complete leap out of jail free card every single time. But working with the Witch Doctor, working with the Tusk, got to look towards those dual lane setups when you're with the Mirana. And even though there's going to be occasionally Nature's Prophet throwing some goons in the way, Being able to apply some early game pressure to a gyrocopter, if there is going to be a lot of battling over that mid lane, if you teleport in a Mirana, like that is so powerful. So I'm not a huge fan of this hero, but I actually think it's pretty good here.
Okay, there's a few issues I see here. Podham's not that good for his gyro. Rocket can just chase you down and kill you. Disruptor, obvious reasons. Night Stalker as well, obvious reasons. Pretty good against Furion, not very good against Furion in the lane because of her low damage. So it's probably gonna, yeah, it's definitely gonna be mid Podham, and then Death Prophet will be on the safe lane. Yeah, I think it's more of a hero pool issue. The reason they have this Podham, because I'm sure there are better heroes than Podham in the situation, especially to up against Odie, because that lane isn't even that good for Mirana. Like, I don't really like this, but you got to do what you got to do.
I mean, that's part of the reason why I don't like this hero in general. Just the fact that Mirana, her base damage and her attack projectile is just so bad, and she also missed the smoke apparently. I don't know how that happens, but they're gonna leave her alone. They're gonna completely screw over RVP, which feels bad, man. But you know what? I think the Mirana definitely has some potential depending on how much battling actually goes on in this game. And looking at Kinguin's start, looks like they're maybe going to try to get a little bit of that down, or at least kind of will be forced into one of those situations thanks to these aggressive lanes that SQG can actually execute. They will run into Katsura right now. Night Stalker in the wrong neighborhood. Can't go that way, dude. That way's blocked off. And he's hit with the Maledict, and he's definitely dead here. But to who? Looks like they all wanted to give it to someone, and the person didn't realize it. But we got Tricky with the first blood on the Death Prophet.
All right, they got the kill on the person they wanted. So, what are we dealing with here? Also, Potter brutally murdered a tree, so she's sitting at 1 CS, being the overall leader. So that's good for her, I guess. Yeah, these lanes. Okay, so you got Furion matching up against the against the LC, actually. Against the tri-lane. So, keeping the Furion under control, that's good, I guess, but I have a feeling Death Prophet's going to struggle a large amount versus this lane, if not die several times. So top lane would be the one I would watch, because I think mid's going to go about even for a while, unless Nisha does some complete outplay or horrible misplay.
We'll see where these Radiant supports actually go. Tusk and Witch Doctor, of course, heroes that typically do enable Death Prophet quite a bit. From the mid lane, it definitely a different scenario up towards top, where there are many more movement options, just ways to go through the lane and out of the lane. So Tricky is already going to have pretty much this to deal with the entire laning phase. Siphon is quite nice up against Night Stalker, but it is only level 1 Siphon. You can only get so much done with that. Shards will capture both of them, but they'll just turn around and start laying into this Death Prophet. Elisash, though, is dropping fairly low, and it looks like he will go down here to the Maledict if nothing else. Just right-clicks from the Witch Doctor to get yet another kill. Missile comes in way too late. Gyrocopter was CSing per usual, but I could say Kinguin probably didn't expect a full aggressive tri-lane with Death Prophet. They're going to go right back in, though, leveraging that tankability of the Night Stalker, and it looks like they'll just fall short of that Witch Doctor kill. This Exotic Deer is not exactly known for having the longest range, being a Gyrocopter, but man, they are just battling up here, just trading hits left and right. And now there's Rocket Barrage, and that is going to turn the tables, at least for a little bit, as Wish is going to fall. Missile goes off onto the Death Prophet, a couple more right clicks, and it looks like it'll be a double kill for Kinguin after all. TP from the Tusk to return is a little bit late. That's some real use of that Night Stalker's tankability, man. That's 6 armor, 720 HP for you.
Now, I'm fairly sure that Homing Missile does not have hero priority when it switches, because what he did is he rocketed the Tusk before he died, and then in a full creep wave, it switched to the Death Prophet, so they killed the Death Prophet. So I think that he is just extraordinarily unlucky.
Or Gyrocopter is just extraordinarily skilled.
Yeah, or Gyrocopter is very lucky. Oh, skilled. All that too. Yeah, no. So bot lane is kind of 10-1 versus 5-1, but the creep wave is going into the tower, so Passos is going to get to farm a bit. But this lane traditionally is not known to be a Furion-favored one.
Yeah, just your Treants are not all that effective. You can see Legion Commander can either blow them up with overwhelming odds or just start right-clicking them, and I mean, they'll take a while to go down, I guess, but moment of courage, get a couple procs of that if you're aggroed by the by the Treants, and the damage trades just typically don't go Patos' way. I think, you know, despite that, the Legion Commander isn't really going to be able to push this lane to the point where this Nature's Prophet is helpless, though. And I think probably just these bottom two lanes, the mid and bottom lane, they're probably just going to stay like this for quite a long time. Mirana's actually doing pretty darn well, actually, base damage aside. Oh, but top lane, Katzor, this time is in a little bit too deep. And the snowball does go off into the Disruptor as well. Exotic Deer doesn't really need to help that Disruptor this time, but you know, Night Stalker getting caught up and amongst 3 heroes. Not fun times, even though you are so bulky.
Yeah, it's not really, it doesn't really matter how tanky you are versus Tusk Witch Doctor, because you just get trapped in and maledicted, and then you're just kind of dead. Well, I'm looking at bot, and I think that this Legion should have a lot more than 13 CS, but I don't think he bought the Quelling Blade until just recently, so... Oh. Elder Ash is going to get snowballed it.
The Witch Doctor walks just in range to get grabbed up by it. And now with the Maledict, he should be going down here. One more tick. He's going to put up a field before he goes down. Maybe put a little bit of damage into this Tusk.
There is a
Gyrocopter coming in from the bottom side. Shards, and he's going to look for the neutral deny. It's going to be tough. And it's not going to happen. These creeps don't actually do damage. It's very, very low amounts per creep, so unfortunately for the Tusk there, not going to work out. But they're starting to really, really ramp up the battling in this lane. Exotic Deer is going in. I'm not sure if he should be going in because now he's trapped. Wanted to get back to the lane ASAP. Understandable, but at what cost? Because he's going to go down there. There is no vision for the Dire in this lane. It's a little bit to the east of the lane, but... and a Creep Wave Greed is going to cost the Gyrocopter his life there.
Yeah, that's not really what you want to be doing. Honestly, Gyro is deceptively weak in try versus try situations, mostly because he's extremely low damage, 57. He can't really contest last hits, as you can see, he's only got 10. Also, if he gets gone on, he doesn't really have any way of escaping, and he's not that tanky. He's got 7 armor, but in a lane where you're against Witch Doctor, Death Prophet, and Tusk, it's not really the physical damage that's going to kill you that much. It's the Maledict and the slows that really get you. Also,
I would expect the Gyrocopter to be falling behind a little bit. The range, as you said, is definitely a big problem. As we've already seen, you get close to CS, and then suddenly there's shards blocking your way out, then you're Maledicted and Casked, and just all sorts of unhappy things. They're going to push the wave into this tower, but I think with this setup, they're looking for a little bit of aggression off of this shove in. Can't quite find this Disruptor. It looks like Exotic Deer will be able to farm up just a little bit more, but yeah, Gyrocopter is limited really to the Rocket Barrage, it seems. And if you're going to use Rocket Barrage as an offensive spell to actually fight in this lane, you're committing a lot, because you got to be really, really close to actually use it.
Yep, it's kind of a all or nothing kind of thing. But when it works out, it feels pretty great, but sometimes when you're just off killing someone and when the barrage runs out, it feels really bad. But they should get this kill, I think.
There we go. They've
Unless
isolated the Death Prophet. They're going to buzz him down. Oh, who? Ooh. Here comes the Wrath of Nature. And here comes Patos himself. Although there is a Moonlight Shadow.
They have a sentry, but...
There is one sentry, and Wish is still inside the sentry range, and he'll go down to Patos as well. That's the rotation that I was going to mention. Like, I would expect that to come in a little bit earlier here for Kinguin. I guess just not enough opportunities, but... crashing really hard to the level 6 Nature's Prophet with Phase Boots with Blightstone. You don't want to mess with that.
He just hit 6, man. He's trying. Also, Podum did really well in the time that the lane was fair, and then OD hit level 5, and the lane wasn't fair anymore. Also, Witch Doctor is very dead. Doctor.
Dude, those 2 consecutive misses up the high ground? Life is fair after all. Confirmed.
Yep. The game just doesn't want Nisha to win. That's unfortunate for him. Oh. Castle's going to do some roaming up top. He's going to walk around. He's going to see the Death Prophet on the ward. And if they show Tusk mid... Oh, they're TPing all the heroes in mid, so this will probably be a trade.
They're going to jump in, duel the OD. Immediately they jump into action on the top lane at the same time with the Nature's Prophet. Wrath of Nature, I think it already bounced in onto Tricky. He's got a couple siphons working for him. That's a lot of extra sustain. Cask bouncing through as well. Patos dropping fairly low. To the Maledict, I think he's dead. It will turn around, kill off the Witch Doctor. Now here comes Exotic Deer, can only offer a couple of flat cannon shots. Won't actually do all that much. And it will be ultimately a 2-for-1, but that is not a 2-for-1 that Kinguin are going to be happy with.
Yeah, I thought the Gyro would be able to move in, but he wasn't really there. I think he was farming a wave under the tower. So, yeah, that's unfortunate for them. Overall, taking out the OD is very important. That kind of levels out the mid lane a bit more. So, Pollen now has the bottle. We'll be farming a bit more steadily. Oh, Castle gets spotted on the scan, so there's going to be no shenanigans happening here, hopefully. And Witch Doctor is not going to be given mid lane as RVP comes back in and takes all the farm for himself.
Support life, dude. Support life. Hopefully he'll get some action, picking up a couple levels, and then can join this Legion Commander, because she did rotate in already, with a Snowball acting as a pseudo Blink Dagger, get in on that OD. Got the dual win also. And being on top of the net worth chart, this Legion Commander is, of course, up against Glimpse and the Imprisoned from the OD, both of which are really, really painful for an LC to deal with. But, you know, this type of hero, this Legion Commander, we've seen time and time again in the past, just give her an inch and she will just run you over. So this momentum that she has, depending on whether or not SQG can actually leverage it, it could be really huge.
Yeah, the thing is, just don't take any fights which aren't going to really work out. Oh, what's he doing? He's just kind of running around mid, running to top. Alright, giving the Death Prophet the safer lane and kind of running around with the LC to make sure they can use the duel, but I don't really think there's any real move to be made here because Gyro's hit 6, like, unless they catch him before the LT goes off, and I don't think it's really a feasible kill.
Well, we may get to see if it is. Exotic Deer does have vision of everything, so he knows exactly what's going on in this top lane. Doesn't look like there's any rotations to really help him out, so Exotic Deer is kind of recovered decently into the net worth position, 3rd place overall. Still isn't exactly where a Gyrocopter wants to be, but the aggressive move is still here. For sure, they're going to push back the Disruptor, who is just completely helpless to this type of play, and really just assert themselves on this top lane. And at this point, the Death Prophet being on this bottom lane can do pretty well up against the Nature's Prophet. Over in mid lane, Mirana is still, I would say, drawing even at worst. They're going to throw out their Wrath of Nature, and up towards top, Mad Kings is caught. TP in from Patos as well. They will snowball in towards Patos. That's not going to get the LC into a safe position, though. Still in a little bit of trouble. Does phase boots away really quickly. They do find Wish with the Sprout and will be able to take him down. But the LC, that phase boot movement speed, man, she is just zooming.
Yeah, 4 heroes move in to defend that from Kinguin, and they only lose the task. Not losing the LC is really important there, because LC needs to snowball this game very hard, and delaying that Blink Dagger is not an option. So they need to make sure she does okay. I'm just kind of looking at Nisha, he's farming pretty freely. What is the most concerning thing for Kinguin? Because on paper it doesn't look that good. The game's even, they have a Furion and a Gyro, you don't usually want that to be the case. But what are they worried about right now, do you think?
They're probably, this Blink Dagger on the LC is the thing that's cooking away. We also have this Death Prophet who hasn't used an ultimate yet, so these towers are still in, well, not great shape, actually. I thought they'd be a little bit healthier than this. We got Mirana of all heroes pushing in mid, so, I mean, it's just the fact that the game's already even, and I don't think SQG have even hit their power curve yet. Like, it's going to be in the next 5 minutes, probably starting at 15 minutes, where things are going to get really, really rough for Kinguin. They're going to be forced to fight with an OD, who, at this point, might have a 4-staff by then, but is definitely going to be out-itemed.
OD can be deceptively strong, though, with just the 4-staff. Okay, we got Death Prophet ulti coming out on the top tower, so yeah. Death Prophet ulti not used, that's a good point. But it is happening now, and everyone is running at said Death Prophet. Oh, here's the Gyro ulti.
Her and the Tusk with the call down. Both missiles, I think, hit on Tricky. He is going to get some cover from the shards, but now Sprouted in. Can't go anywhere. Look at these movement manipulators. Tricky is isolated and brought down, but Patos and Exotic Deer got really messed up in the process. Night Stalker chasing forward for the Witch Doctor now. Urn ticking away. Field for a little bit of vision, and another Void. That'll get the kill. One more right click from downtown. Kinguin don't save their tower, but they do sneak in and get a couple of pretty good kills. That Death Prophet kill is definitely a big one. So and if they can make that happen every single time, then that's how they stay in it. That's how they keep up with the itemization. It's tough to actually make that happen, though, as over in bottom lane, this tower was also taking quite a bit of pressure. Both bottom and mid towers for Kinguin kind of dropping low here.
Yeah, so they lose the top tower, but they get 2 kills in return. I look at games like this and I kind of feel like Oh, they're waiting for the top shrine. But I feel like they're just trying to survive the first few Death Prophet ultis because that's like the really big spell with the high call they need to watch out for. So it's like you only really have to play against maybe 3 Death Prophet ultis of fights with those in before you kind of get to your items. Like everyone suddenly has like Force Off and OD, you got Phase Drum, Shadow Blade on Furion, and all that kind of stuff. And then the fights get easier again with Death Prophet stops being such a huge factor. And once you like survive those 3 fights without horrible trades, I think Kinguin are in a pretty good position. So I think they've got another 2 Death Prophet ultis left before they get into a secure area, but we'll see how it goes.
Death Prophet is one thing, Blink Dagger on LC quite another. They will run into, unfortunately, the Night Stalker. It's definitely not the hero they want to jump on initially. They do reveal the Blink Dagger straight away, so Mad Kings is not going to pass up this farm. Witch Doctor is just like a creep and a half away from level 6. Get a Death Ward on top of that duel, and most heroes are going to be dying there, so they do now know about the Blink Dagger on the LC, but the Arrow, or hell, even the Mirana as a whole, these are the ways that SQG kind of make sure that the Death Prophet stays relevant. Just get a pick off beforehand. So far, we haven't really seen Mirana play the game, but she is stacked up pretty high right now. Drums phase and working towards Yasha. Does find another target in Katsur here, as the Night Stalker is... I don't think he knows what's coming right around the corner. Here comes the press, and yeah, that's going to be a lot of damage. Easy kills. That's going to end a killing spree as well, so Night Stalker down, and Mirana getting her hands a little bit bloody.
Oh, he tries to go for that deny on the rune. What's happening here? They have Disruptor for follow-up. Get out of there. Run. He places the ward high ground for potential glimpse kill, but not quite. Ooh. Look at Gyro. He's sneaking up his way into the net worth.
Slowly but surely, but in the meantime, they will force staff in. And with the Static Storm there, they will dodge a lot with the Snowball, but still the Mirana's in a lot of trouble. Here comes the Eclipse, and Nisha's gonna do a lot of damage there. That'll get 2 kills right off the bat. Gyrocopter gonna sneak in, now kill off Mad Kings. And with the Night Stalker pushing forward, looking now for Tricky. Glimpse was already used, I believe, and it's on level 3, so the cooldown's still quite long. But, yeah, once again, it's Kinguin to crash in really hard. You don't expect the 4 staff in prison on the one random hero just to get that initiation going, but... yeah, it certainly worked out. Again, they don't save their tower, but they get 3 kills. They get a tower of their own. That's nothing but a strict win there for Kinguin.
Yeah, I can't help but feel that wouldn't have been as bad if Tusk had managed to keep the Snowball going for a little bit longer, but maybe he couldn't. I don't know. There's some weird interactions with Snowball and Disruptor ulti, apparently, that I've heard about, but I haven't actually done it myself, so... But what it looked like is it looked like you could just kind of hold the Snowball for 2 seconds longer, and then they might save 1 or 2 heroes. And that is not the TP you wanted to make. Oh god.
Night Stalker is stalking the woods, so he TP's in to. I don't even know what the plan was there. I mean, he teleports in by himself. He's up against 3 heroes. You definitely need more heroes to come with you if you're gonna make that play. At least for the intimidation factor. So look at another tower now, and all of a sudden 3K lead here for Kinguin, and they are really starting to pick up speed. As SQG, I mean, they get a couple dual wins with Legion Commander. The Death Prophet is actually bulking up pretty huge right now, but they just have to put themselves in a position where they can actually use those tools and then disengage safely. And so far, that has not been the case, or at least the disengage safely part.
Yeah, I don't think there's any kind of disengage they can possibly do. Like, there's Furion, there's Night Stalker, there's Disruptor. Like, you just get chased down. Especially, or even Gyro Rockets. Like, almost everything about this Kinguin lineup means you just can't get away. Once the fight starts, you are committed. Like, unless you have a BKB or something, but no one in SQG is going to have a BKB for a very long time. And no one's even looking towards one, so, yeah. Oh, here's the smoke as well.
This move from Kinguin is really aggressive. They're not going to anticipate this many heroes. They completely botch the Static Storm. Now the duel goes off into the Gyrocopter. Glimpse is going to keep him safe for a little while longer here, but with the Mirana jumping in, he will go down. Shards kind of firing off there, will miss. That's a really aggressive move from Kinguin, just smoking in with just 2 heroes. 3rd potentially in that Nature's Prophet, but I guess they didn't expect that many heroes to be there, to be fair, but I mean, you make that smoke as Kinguin, you know you're not making the safest play.
I mean, it's a pretty aggressive move, but like, the reason that didn't work is because SQG were like sitting together in their jungle and they decided, okay guys, let's go smoke. So they smoke through their own woods to their own safe lane. which is like a move that almost no one ever makes.
Oh, here's the problem though, because Tricky is gonna start losing that int. The Eclipse does about 0 damage. That's fine because they're looking for a little bit more. Mirana is gonna TP out. Yeah, OD is gonna struggle up against that into the Death Prophet, but I mean that kill on the Gyrocopter, that's great and everything, but then losing your DP afterwards, like that kind of just evens everything out, and it's almost as if that Gyrocopter kill never happened.
Not quite. It still sets him back, but yeah, it overall in terms of the game, yeah, it doesn't really help too much. Oh, Exotic Deer is just going to try and catch up a bit, farm some creeps. He gets a whole bunch of stacks together, but he's going to have to flak those ancients again one more time, and he's getting smoked into again, but Mad King blinks to the low ground.
They still have the Death Ward, and they still have a Maledict with shards. Oh, it's going to shove him out! Okay, well, you know, the game giveth, the game taketh away. RVP really wants this kill. He'll get the kill as well. It'll cost them at least this one hero in the Witch Doctor. Probably this Mirana as well. She gets glimpsed right back into the Static Storm. Wish is going to be taken down by Patros off the side. And the OD and Disruptor will finish off the Mirana. Dude, they just got... I mean, shards are always kind of finicky there, but that was... I don't know if it's a misplay or RNG or weird game mechanics or what, but that was not good. The Blade Mail, though, active on the Legion Commander, is going to jump in and crush the Night Stalker. So they'll get something off of this exchange after all, but I'm pretty sure Kinguin are okay with this. This OD is starting to get incredibly scary.
Yeah, he's going to get Pike, and then he just starts... Like, OD, when he gets Blink Pike, if he fights around Vision, he's incredibly difficult to deal with. Because he'll blink in and Pike someone, or he'll Pike someone and then he'll walk in, and then as soon as you go on him, he'll blink away, and then he can kind of kite you, because he's a very mobile hero. No other hero in the game does as much damage with just 2 mobility items than OD, I think. Especially in a situation like this. I mean, it's all well and good, you can kill the Gyro, you can misplay and end up killing the Gyro anyway, but because of that misplayed shards, they have to trade the Podum for it. Ugh. And OD's net worth just keeps going up. Not to mention the Furion, actually. He's already got Shadow Blade, he's working towards Orchid. In fact, he's got 1k gold until he gets it, so... But here's a smoke from Kinguin.
Just typical Nature's Prophet things, man. You look away from him for just a couple seconds, all of a sudden he's farmed out every single wave on the map, and they'll farm up a Witch Doctor as well. They will use Moonlight Shadow there.
Oh, they caught the LC.
Oh no, that's not
Oh, he's
okay, maybe
walked away.
Static Storm missing. But you can't escape because they have the Glimpse, they have all these tools you already mentioned.
And they don't have any
his True Sight though. Guys, probably pack that in the next trip, but they will catch the Mirana with the Sprout. She'll just leap right out of there. They've caught someone else in that imprison, and it'll beat the Death Prophet this time. Triple Siphon's gonna be broken as they just walk away from it. Cats are gonna drag them all into the field. Tricky's still alive for right now, but the Flat Cannon will bring him down as the glimpse back Mad King's jump forward from Nisha, drops the Eclipse onto Wish, onto RVP, gets a double kill. Death Ward is gonna be committed, but the Witch Doctor's fighting up against one too many heroes. 3 shots for Nisha, gonna get him a triple kill. And Kinguin absolutely run away with this game. 5k lead now. They lose a Night Stalker who's been kind of the sacrificial lamb in all these situations, but that's actually kind of a good thing. If he's the one taking the focus, if he's the one drawing attention, he's the bulkiest hero while doing the least damage. That means the Nature's Prophet, the OD, and Gyrocopter are free to go ham, as we just saw.
Yep, it's just... These fights are so awkward. It's like they keep catching people, and even if they mess up the execution a bit and LC gets away, it doesn't even matter because they catch like 2 other heroes, because they just have so much catch. And SQG have nothing that can actually stand and fight once the fight actually begins. Like, Death Prophet can try her best with Yules and a whole bunch of Siphons, but they'll just wait, as they did there, and then they'll just kill her afterwards. So, at this point, top 3 net worth on Kinguin. The closest is Podum, but she's working towards a Manta style, which... she needs a BKB. She needs a BKB or she can't do anything in this game, and she'll probably realize it even before she finishes this Manta, but this is like... It's not looking good. Especially when you look at the ward coverage as well. Kinguin have this ward like between the tier 1 and tier 2 top. They don't have any other wards in the enemy jungle, but they'll probably go for a smoke soon enough and play some more. A DD rune spawns top, only in Vision of Radiant, so Pon will probably grab that. Yeah.
This is looking tough, man. Just Mirana as a hero definitely needs a little bit of help item-wise, if she's gonna get into that right-clicker role, and I don't mean the double damage rune, so it's like, you could go for a Manta style, you can go for a BKB, but I think both of these will still end up with a shortage of I'm just going to die if I don't get BKB, or I'm not going to do enough damage if I don't get some sort of big agility item. It seems like she kind of needs both, and I'm not sure if there's enough farm on the map for her to get.
Meanwhile, top lane, look at Kinguin. Look at them.
Oh, Ob's not
They
going to see
place the
anything.
ward. Oh, Death Prophet just is hidden from it.
They
Oh,
have
she's
another
gonna
hunter,
walk
though.
away.
They could fly up again and get some vision here. Okay, well, now they just see her. They don't need to fly or do anything.
They're just going to drop
They'll
the
just static
ulti.
storm immediately. Once again, I think that missed. She's able to slip away off the side. She goes right back into it, though. Okay, maybe it didn't miss. They will Moonlight Shadow once again. Dust comes out a little bit late. And now they're kind of stuck in the trees here. Tricky's still alive. As they'll chase after Katsor, he's in a little bit of trouble as the Mirana's going to leap forward twice for him. Double damage rune still active. Will kill off the Night Stalker. They lose a Night Stalker, but you know what? They don't lose anyone else. I don't think they know that they're still here, but bottom lane's pushing, mid lane's pushing. And obviously it's going to be good for SQG to get these kills, but...
Oh, Witch Doctor. Oh, he's gonna... No, he's not gonna get spotted. Maybe? Oh, he's gonna show top wave and then they're gonna go on him, I think.
You can get the courier also. They're gonna imprison Tricky and like 3-shot the Witch Doctor here. Okay, maybe 4-shot. Or maybe not shot him at all. They will Sprout and Orchid this Death Prop. She gets one siphon off, but I don't think that's going to be enough as David will fall down in the end. Tricky now in a little bit of trouble. Will go down as well. The LC revealing herself on this top lane as well, trying to save Tricky. Not going to happen. The sticking power of Kinguin is absolutely insane. Like, if they want you dead, you're going to die.
Yeah. All the more reason why I think this bottom should be going BKB, because she's going to show up to a fight with a Manta, and she's going to Manta an Orchid, but she's going to get silenced again. She's going to get hit by gyro damage by Odie. Like, she needs a BKB. This Manta is a mistake. I can see where she's coming from. She's like, oh, if I go Manta Diffusal BKB, then maybe I can do something. Or, you need Manta Diffusal. That's like another 3,000 gold.
Mm-hmm.
If you buy Yasha BKB, you can actually fight right here, right now. You don't need to care about the OD.
Ooh, this Disruptor, Static Storm for safety. And it
I like
looks
that.
like they blew their smoke. They didn't see what they blew it on, so they just figured, oh, they're probably in the Ancients, which is reasonable. And they're going to chase forward, though. They have Vision of Wish. The Glimpse, I think, is a little bit out of range of that. And they can't even get that Disruptor kill. They do pull out the Static Storm, I guess, but in this particular game, Static Storm, so far it hasn't even really been landing. And they've still been crushing these fights, so it's, I'm not really sure what SQG can do right now. They have to find a couple Kinguin heroes, I think, off on their own farming. Try to bring them down with the Mirana single target, this duel that they still have. Try to get some single hero pickoffs, but you can see Kinguin are just not really, with their positioning, letting that happen. Like, how are we supposed to pick off one hero in this 4 squad?
Yeah, I don't think you're going to kill any of them. Like, you go on Gyro, he BKBs before you can do anything. Oh, someone's being captured. Nope.
Oh, yes,
it's actually
right.
Nisha.
It's the OD. Blink duel, Death Ward, easy kill, Snowball. Onto Katsur. I don't think they can get that guy. He's a little bit too quick. Nice little kill. Can they get anything else off of it, though? Going into Roche is... it's the high value objective
this is the play.
here,
This is
but
definitely
at the same time, top lane is pushing. And I think Kinguin, if they really want to, they could still fight over this.
Nah, they can't. They can't get there in time. They see it, but they're using the gyro ulti to farm the creep smith. They know they can't contest this.
It's a little bit faster.
With the OD dead, that's like 90% of their damage right now. Especially because I think he was about to have a Hex. Yeah, he had the ultimate orb on the courier. But Furion's going to be happy taking the top tower and pushing bot, so he's going to start taking a bit more control over this game. But what you're saying, yeah, about the 4 squad not being able to be killed, it's true until Gyro decides to split up and look for clues in his own jungle and then just kind of farms for a bit. And then OD's just kind of sitting there in mid lane, just wondering where everyone went. Ooh. Speaking of mid lane.
Yeah, Tusk trying to TP towards bottom, clean that up. And fill that Spirit Vessel, the Night Stalker, a little bit more, and it will be picked off there. Probably just going to be a pick for pick's sake, but still, this Nature's Prophet now, despite the answers on the other end of Mirana and the LC, is kind of running circles around them, and I would say is almost at the point, if not already at the point, where it's like, if you get jumped, you just turn around and just kill whoever jumped you. Like, you just BKB, start right-clicking, especially if he's able to get this Nullifier up, then things get really, really bad for those heroes. So, NP is not a hero that SQG can very effectively deal with at this stage, just because he is just 3k ahead of the Mirana.
Yeah, they need to... Oh, that's a Hex caught on the Witch Doctor.
Poor guy.
He's dead. Yes. Oh no, he can stick, but yeah, he's still dead.
He is dead. Well.
Yeah, the funny thing is, like, with Astral, it's like, you know, it's meant to deal like the 300 damage instantly, but you can BKB, you can wand, and you can do a whole bunch of other things before the damage actually goes off.
Oh,
So
they have another jump in and another hex for the Mirana. She does have a double life, but or she had a double life. They will get a duel off onto the OD. And he's going to take quite a bit of damage here, but the Gyrocopter's doing a little bit of damage of his own as the Imprison going to keep the OD alive. They'll buzz down the Tusk now, chasing after the LC as the BKB does run out, and finally the Static Storm lands on the Mirana, but she is able to split out of there and get away. Death Prophet, though, perhaps not as lucky. Yule Scepter, her only defensive tool, will be going down here, and the OD will survive. 3 kills for Kinguin right in front of the enemy base. And now they're going to go in for a little bit of push. The creep wave gets obliterated, and the Gyrocopter takes an arrow to the dome. But they'll just pop up another set of treants, wait for another creep wave. Glimpse back is going to bring the Witch Doctor into the middle of no man's land. They're going to try to chase after him, and they do land the Hex with the Night Stalker in the area. I think they've got him. They do. Glimpse works weirdly with respawn timers, but it'll get them another kill. Will, I guess we can say, defend their top lane. But it really doesn't matter if they defend it or if they lose it at this point. It's still a 14k lead. Kinguin are just absolutely crushing it.
yeah, they're doing really well. And it's that kind of thing where it's like, well, you killed Gyro a bunch, but then he farmed his jungle for about 5 minutes and came out with the Sanjin Yasha and a BKB. And then what do you really do? I mean, you can duel the OD, but you don't even kill him in the duel, so what's the plan here? And the plan seems to be, for now, farm the Maelstrom on bottom, get a BKB on Death Prophet, and try and get some good duels out, but it's going to get increasingly difficult as the map becomes increasingly smaller, with Furion sending trees to every single lane, TPing around, using his ulti. He's using his ulti to push out the lanes at this point. So, is there some desperate smoke that they can make? Is there some ward that they can get out to let them make moves? I don't know, but 4-man smoke coming out from Kinguin, right down middle lane. They're going to run straight into the Witch Doctor at this rate.
Probably their best bet would have been try to just ambush the Nature's Prophet with 4 or 5 heroes, but Katsor with the gems pushing forward is going to land a Void onto the LC, and they will try to isolate Tricky. Duels goes off onto this NS. He will get imprisoned and saved from the duel for a little while longer. Still, the Death Ward is taken away right now, and Katsor will go down. But they have isolated Tricky, and in the forest, he will go down. Wish, trying to get him with the Snowball, messes up somehow, and now the Eclipse from Nisha just going to destroy everyone, as Wish is going to try desperately to kill off Exotic Deer, will fall short. And that is going to be a 1-for-4 exchange. Again, the Night Stalker taking the bullet for the rest of the team. Gyrocopter drops a little bit low there, but I mean, that's fine. Still alive, still just level 21 with so much in the way of items. OD as well. Yeah, I mean, that was just a rough spot for SQG to be in the first place.
I mean, the fight looked almost okay, but like when you think about it, you saw what Knights did there. He just ran straight into the LC. He knew it was going to happen. He knew that LC would press BKB and duel him. He didn't care. He was like, yeah, I'll get saved, and if I don't get saved and I still die, it's fine. Like, the fight will start off with them dueling the support, so Mad Kings couldn't stop himself from taking the bait. And now he's dead with no BKB, and the Rax is dead, and well, this game's over, fortunately. There's no more gameplay to be had here.
Yeah, the game might last a little while longer, but I think you're right, there is no gameplay to be had here, because now 2 racks down with the Nature's Prophet. Now that in of itself is usually just going to mean you're donezo. Nisha is going to get tagged, so can't blink out. They'll try to siphon Patos. Can't get anyone, though. And now 2 racks up for Kinguin. Geez, 26k lead. It's a decent advantage. It's an okay lead here. And they're picking up some really luxury items. They get that Nullifier, get an Ags on the Disruptor. If you're at this point, usually you're feeling pretty good about your game.
Yeah, there's should be no way they lose this game. Even the Gyro Butterflies do so much damage that they don't really have any way to mitigate it. They look at the armor values, it's like, you've got 4 on Witch Doctor, you've got 7 on Death Prophet, 12 on Tusk, that's not so bad, 16 LT. It's like, no one's really able to deal with the Gyro's damage output at this point, seeing as he's got, well, about 300 damage. And little maths there says 2,600 roughly physical damage to everybody. Yeah, I don't think there's a real way they can deal with that.
Witch Doctor has 1,000 HP. Good freaking luck, dude.
Yeah, he doesn't even have his Glimmer Cape yet, and that's the only way he could really see himself surviving, so... It's just a matter of time before these trees and Fury himself reach the tower and bot lane. They're going to do some warding. Oh, there is an Aghanims on Disruptor. I think you mentioned that.
Here's the final play here for SQG. This is the all-in. Gotta get a element of surprise mixed in here. They will smoke and maintain it. Jump in towards Exotic Deer. Where's the Imprison? They do have a glimpse, and the Imprison keep him safe versus the Death Ward. Tricky though is BKB, and he's doing a little bit of damage here as Exotic Deer is gonna be forced to disengage away. Static Storm is not gonna catch many of them, although we'll catch 2, and their BKBs will run out, so it's gonna do something. And now here comes Nisha, drops the Eclipse. That's gonna be 2 heroes down in the blink of an eye, with Mad Kings being the 4th. Well, I mean, it's the play they had to make. They do get 2 kills off of it, which is not bad, I guess, but GG is called.
Yep, it is a good game indeed. Now, I don't know. I'm looking at this game and I see the fact that they basically had an LC1 role. So, and if you have a 1 position that's really uncomfortable just farming, like, I felt that Podham should have been their 1 role, but it didn't really end up like that because of how they did their lanes. And then all the fights are awkward. They didn't really have enough heroes at any given point in any position. They lost team fights because of Astral. I don't really think it's that much of a draft issue, but I don't really like the way that their lanes are structured, and I don't like the bottom pick. And some itemization problems as well, but let's see what happens in the next game.
Yeah, at a certain point, it's just like, if you pick the heroes, you just got to run with it. It definitely saw a little bit of potential there from SQG, but you know what? It's fine because this is not only a best of 3. This is a best of 3 format where you are gonna get dropped to a lower bracket. That one is only a best of 1. The first round of the lower bracket is only best of 1, which kind of sucks. But you know what? They still have a couple more chances. Kinguin are gonna take game 1 here, guys. I'm Mikelorus. I've been joined by Rime. If you still are getting a black screen, try multi-twitch. I don't know if it's fixed by now. It might be, it might not be, but yeah, doing what we can over here with Twitch acting up. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back for game 2.